Thanks for tuning in again. This is podcast number 3. In today's cast, I'm going to be giving you some expressions using the word off. The first is the turn off. And to be a turn off is when a person has some behaviors or some habits that you really don't like and they make you change how you feel about this person. For example, a man and a woman begin dating, and the first time that the woman goes to the man's apartment or his house and she sees that there's food everywhere and it's dirty, and she sees his old smelly socks on the floor, and she says, "I saw his house and it was really such a turn off for me." The next is to be off. When we are speaking about foods that can smell bad when they have been left for a little bit too long. Things like cheese, things like milk. We all know the smell of bad cheese and bad milk. When you open the fridge and you get that bad smell, you take out the cheese and you say, this cheese is off. This cheese is off. It means the cheese has gone bad. The next is to be off. When trying to guess or give a number for something, a good one would be when you ask a person to guess your age. If they say, "Oh, how old are you?" and you say to them, "Take a guess my age," and they say, "Okay, 28. I think you're 28." And to this you would say, "You are well off. You are completely off. I'm actually 20." So it means that you have tried to guess at a particular level or a particular number, but you really didn't get anywhere near to the target. Next is to be cheesed off. To be cheesed off. Maybe I go to the bank, to the ATM, I take out my card, put my card into the machine, and the bank swallows up my card. And now my card is gone and I'm not able to withdraw any money from the machine. And I would say, I'm really cheesed off. I'm really annoyed now. It's put me in a bad mood. You're going round to your friends and to visit a friend, and while you're at their house, you receive a phone call, and you are asked, "Can you please come back immediately?" And you turn to your friend and you say, "I'm sorry, I really must shoot off." And to shoot off is that you have to leave very suddenly and very quickly, and in a way that you didn't plan for. Another is that you leave your home and you're going to go out. For example, I'm going to the supermarket, and you might say, "I'm off." And it just means I'm about to leave. I'm going to leave now. I'm off to the supermarket, or I'm off to the hairdresser, or I'm off to the city centre. The next is a standoff. A standoff. And if you think about cowboy movies, western movies, in those famous scenes with maybe Clint Eastwood or another famous actor, where you'd have the two characters standing a distance apart of a few meters, or maybe 25, 30 meters apart, and they would have this fight where they would draw the gun from their holster and try to shoot the other one dead. This is a standoff, and maybe this might happen. You might be unlucky enough or lucky enough to witness this in a public place. It might be in your street that two people have this situation where they're in a standoff, and everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. The next one is an off day. An off day. So, for example, it's the weekend, so I'm not working today because it's a Saturday, and Saturdays are my off days. The days that I rest, the days that I don't work. We might use this in another way. So, maybe you're having a particularly bad day and you're making mistakes, you're dropping things, you're forgetting things, and you're just not your usual self. You're not performing in the way that you usually do. You're not your usual self. You say, I'm really having an off day today. I'm having an off day. I'm just not able to do things in the normal way. This one is right off the bat. To be right off the bat. And right off the bat means right from the beginning, right from the start. For example, you go to the horse races and you put your bets and you choose your horse, and the race begins, and your horse begins to run and immediately gets ahead in the race. So your horse is already winning, it's already ahead of the other horses. So we could say my horse started to get ahead of the other horses right off the bat, right from the beginning. The next one is a rip-off. A rip-off. You go into a restaurant and you order something quite ordinary, like a cheeseburger. And when they give you the bill and you see the price, it's so expensive that you would say, what a rip-off. This is a rip-off to pay so much money for just a simple cheeseburger. This one is something that you might find a stand-up comedian does. So a stand-up comedian imitating, for example, a celebrity person or a member of the royal family. We might say, oh, the comedian did a fantastic takeoff of the Queen. To do a takeoff, to do an impersonation or an imitation of somebody. And this next one is for when we suddenly fall asleep in a way that we didn't plan for. We say that we drop off. I was laying on the couch and watching the television, and then I woke up and I realized I must have dropped off without realizing it. I must have suddenly fallen asleep in a way that I didn't control, that I didn't plan to do. I dropped off. Lastly is to send off. And for example, we have a friend and our friend is going to leave the country and they're going to emigrate and live in a different country. It's a big change in their life, a big event, and so we have arranged a really good send-off for her. It means we're going to give them an event that they will remember, some kind of big party and celebration. A send-off is an event that they will not forget. And as always, thanks for listening, and I hope to have you at the next one.